Yesterday, Lou Whitaker stepped to the plate with 2 outs in the 9th to hit a 3-run pinch hit home run to tie the game. Then in the 10th, Milt Kyler scored the game winner on a pass ball, and the Tigers beat the Blue Jays 5-4. This afternoon, the Tigers have the honor of playing in the first game ever at the new Comiskey Park. Stay tuned. It's the Tigers and the White Sox live from Chicago.
Welcome to brand new Comiskey Park in Chicago. I'm George Kell along with Al Kaline. The Tigers and the White Sox getting ready to open up this brand new ballpark. Everybody's here today. Every seat is taken. It's the hottest ticket in town, they tell us. Bo Schembechler is here. We've got a shot of him somewhere behind the Tiger dugout right here. Bo Jackson is here. Bo knows baseball, so he's here too.
I was kind of surprised to see Bo here with the, the ceremonies, and but he's here. He's going to have a press conference tomorrow.
All right. This ballpark designed just exactly like old Comiskey Park across the street. Dimensions are the same, Al Kaline. You've battered a few around here in your long career in the American League.
Yeah, it's a real big ballpark, George. You see down the lines 347, a really deep power alley in 375, and then straightaway center field, not overly long, but the same dimension as the old Comiskey Park across the street. It looks a lot longer than that here, but only because the fence in straightaway center field is back away from the wire fence, which is the home run fence.
Well, an absolutely delightful ballpark and a big crowd on hand, and they're waiting for the ball game to get started. Frank Tanana is going to pitch for the Tigers today. Frank is 0-1 on the year. He pitched against Chicago in Detroit last week, pitched a great ball game. Went into the 9th inning, tied 1-1. The White Sox made 3, Al, and beat Tanana 4-1.
Yeah, he pitched a great ball game. Certainly Frank not used to going that long, but gave a great effort. Of course, he's going up against Jack McDowell, who's been nearly perfect today. He's 2-0, an earned run average of just 1.00, and he's got the great distinction, George, of pitching the last game at Comiskey Park, and he's going to pitch in a new ballpark, the first one.
The sky has been outstanding, as Al said, but the White Sox as a whole have been outstanding. They opened the season on the road. They played every game on the road until today. They won 6 straight ball games before losing yesterday in Yankee Stadium by a score of 10-1. So it's a good Chicago ball club. They're expecting great things here, and with a new ballpark, big crowd, who knows?
A lot of people are expecting the White Sox to go all the way this year, and certainly if their pitching holds up, a real good pitching staff, a good bullpen. My only question about the White Sox is their 3rd and 4th place hitters are 2 young players, and I think you need a little bit more experience there to drive in the big runs. But they like them, obviously, and they got a real good ball team. The only thing is, it seems like the stadium is overshadowing the ball club. The ball club's off to a great start, but everybody's talking about the ballpark.
Well, today they are. Tomorrow, off day. Then they'll open again there on Friday, and it'll be back to baseball as usual. The Tigers are enthused. I talked to Sparky before the game today. He said, hey, 2 of the clubs we met came out of the Eastern Division. The Yankees, we won 2 out of 3. Met Toronto, won 2 out of 3 from the Toronto Ball Club. So the Tigers have something to be enthused about.
Yeah, the winning the last ball game is sort of like Chicago style, a stolen base, a wild throw, a wild pitch, and of course the big 3-run homer by Lou Whitaker, which has to really give this team, who has been having trouble scoring runs. Everybody has said, and it will come true before the year's over with, they will score a lot of runs, but so far, except opening day, they have struggled as far as scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah, it's been a big concern, Al, a concern the Tigers didn't think they would have when they left Lakeland. They thought they'd score a lot of runs, the pitching would be suspect, but so far in this young season, the pitching has been better than they thought.
Yeah, and hopefully it will stay that way, George, but really the weather in Detroit has not been conducive to power. The pitchers, when the weather is cold, is always in command, particularly against power hitters, which is all throughout the lineup of Detroit. They seem to have a lot more trouble in cold weather than the little spray hitters who get the base hits. But when the weather gets a little bit warmer, I think you'll see the guys swinging a little bit more freely and the ball traveling a little further.
Well, it's going to be a long road trip for the Tigers. They've got their work cut out for them. They play here, then they go on to New York for 3 ball games, then on into Toronto, and very early in the year, The Tigers playing the Yankees in Toronto, and 2 clubs in their division, and especially the Toronto ball club, who figures to be in this thing all the way.
Yeah, they look like a real good ball club. I like them only because in late innings they can manufacture a run. Boston, who is the other team everybody is picking, more of a power hitter, a slugger type team, and they don't seem to be able to do the little things like Toronto, but they have an awesome lineup.
Well, it was a disappointing loss for Toronto yesterday. I was talking to one of the Tigers on the bench, and they were surprised that in the 9th inning, with Whitaker on the bench, there was no left-hander warming up down there, and they seemed to think, hey, that was a critical error by the manager of the Toronto club. He had no left-hander in the bullpen.
Yeah, well, he's trying right now to have a bullpen by committee because Henke is out with a pulled hamstring muscle. Certainly, if he had been around and able to pitch, he would have been in the ball game no matter who was up at the plate, and probably the reason why Detroit was able to go on and win. But you know, when Henke is right, he's as tough as anybody in the league.
Well, you see the sign there. There's many of those around the ballpark today from the Field of Dreams, I would imagine. If you build it, we will come. Jack Sons wrote a great article today in the paper. We built it, and they will come. And in the announcement, in the speeches before the game, they were bragging on the fact that they came in under schedule and ahead of time, and they're really proud here in Chicago, and they should be. We'll be right back at Comiskey Park after this.
Right down to the end, possibly drawing 3 million people. So that will be a tremendous, the most any Chicago team has ever drawn. No one has ever drawn 3 million people.
Yeah, it would have been tough. Well, couldn't happen, I don't imagine, over in Chicago on the north side where they, seat 33, 34,000. It's just tough to draw 3 million.
Not very many, but certainly they support them. But this is a good White Sox team, one that with a little help and their pitching staff staying sound, a lot of young players over there, they will be contenders right down to the end. Whether or not they win or not, I don't know, but I picked them to win, but I'm hedging a little bit, even though they're off to a good start. Again, I'm a little afraid they're 3rd and 4th place hitters. If they don't produce, and you can't really count on the youngsters knowing exactly what they're going to do throughout the course of the season, their 3rd and 4th place hitters are really young kids.
Well, they've been introducing some of the White Sox old-timers, the stars of the past. Billy Pierce, who played in my era, and Minnie Minoso. I've played with Minnie Minoso on this ball club.
Chico Carscal.
Yeah, Chico's there. Earl Batty.
Carlos May. And what they are doing, they showed each of the uniforms from the time the White Sox started until the present day. And believe me, of all the uniforms, this uniform they're wearing right now is by far the best.
Yeah, far and away the best. Well, the umpires are at home plate right now, along with Ozzie Guillen, the captain of the White Sox ball club, and Sparky Anderson, the Tiger manager, going over the lineups and going over the ground rules. And I would imagine this is the first time they've had a chance to do that, even though they probably have discussed them before, but they're going over the ground rules right now in a brand new ballpark with the umpires. And Al, I think you have the starting lineups.
Oh, I have it if they haven't changed it on me. We've been up here so long and I've had it down so long. I hope they haven't changed it. But anyhow, here's the batting lineup brought to you by Kroger for the Detroit Tigers. Leading off in the DH today, Tony Phillips. Batting second, Alan Trammell is the shortstop. Batting third at second base, Lou Whitaker. The 4th batter, Cecil Fielder at first base. Batting 5th, Pete Incaviglia is left field. Batting 6th, and the catcher, Mickey Tettleton. The 7th batter, Rob Deere in right field. Batting 8th, center field, John Shelby. And the 9th batter, 3rd baseman, Travis Fryman. Defensively, for the White Sox in the outfield, Snyder, Johnson, and Sosa. On the infield, Ventura, Guillen, Fletcher, Thomas, and the great Carlton Fisk behind the plate. And of course, Jack McDowell will be on the mound for the White Sox, and as we've mentioned in 2 starts so far this season, has been just about perfect. 2-0 and an earned run average of just 1. And he is averaging about 10 strikeouts a game. Of course, he pitched against the Tigers and struck out 10 Tigers. And his last game, he also struck out 10. So, guy's a hard thrower, and from Stanford University. Also, plays in a rock band in the off season. His group called Freetown. So, very gifted young man, a good arm, good fastball, slider, and a split finger fastball. He likes to call forkball. selected in the first round, June 1987. And he's been in the league 2 years and 22 days before this season. And very impressive looking pitcher, throws hard, and of course, when he's getting the ball over the plate, can be real tough on the right-handed batters, George.
This pitching staff, unless somebody gets hurt, they're going to be here for a long, long time. It's a good, young pitching staff. When you look at McDowell and Radinsky, Fernandez, Perez, Patterson, and in the bullpen, Bobby Thigpen, these are all kids.
Yeah. The White Sox did something a couple years ago, and it's paid off for them. They started trading away their older players, George. They got rid of Harold Baines. They got rid of some other players. And they went with the young players because they knew that they weren't going to be winners with the older players, and they were looking down the road for the new ballpark. They wanted to have a good, young, exciting ball club. And boy, I tell you what, it's worked out exactly the way I'm sure they planned it, to have a good competitive ball club right here for the new ballpark.
Everything has been on schedule. They announced that the first pitch of the ball game would be at 1:45, and it's 1:45 right now. We're just waiting for the first pitch. Everything has just gone off very well. The weatherman has cooperated. Rain has been forecast for Chicagoland today, and this morning the weatherman said no, we're going to have rain late in the day and into the night hours, and so we're hoping that will happen too. So everything going on schedule for this big opening. Almost a World Series atmosphere here in Chicago. The commissioner of baseball is here. It was announced that Vice President Dan Quayle would be here. We have not seen the Vice President, but he could be here, but he was not here at the start of the ceremonies. But we're just about ready to go for the Tigers here in the first inning. It's going to be Tony Phillips leading off. Tony is the designated hitter for the Tigers today. Alan Trammell will bat second, and then Lou Whitaker. Lou Whitaker, who came off the bench yesterday in a very dramatic fashion, hit a 3-run homer to tie the game in the 9th inning against Toronto, and the Tigers went on to win it in the 10th.
Wind blowing a little bit towards the right field line, George. Talking to Ken Harrelson and Jim Pachorik, Tom Pachorik, the announcers for the Tigers, former major leaguers in their own right, say the ball will carry real well here to right field early in the year, late in the year. When the wind shifts, it will carry better to left field.
And the left field will be the Sun Field here. That is the exact opposite of the old ballpark. That's one of the few changes they've made. Right field, is it not?
Every other ballpark in baseball is geared and set it up so the Sun Field is always the right field.
I was going to ask you about that. Why is that? It does seem that nearly every ballpark, the Sun Field is in right field.
It's always that way, and that's just the way they want it. They don't want the sun to be behind the hitters, certainly in the outfield, so they've always made a rule that the sun will always set behind the hitters instead of out in center field.
Well, we're ready to go, and here's the first pitch of the game, and it's low. That's Steve Palermo behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Mike Riley is at first base. Larry Young, the second base umpire, and Rich Garcia, the crew chief here, is on at third base.
And they handed the first pitch of the ball game to a couple of young people who took it and will put it in the archives. First pitch delivered in the new Comiskey Park.
Jack McDowell is the pitcher and Tony Phillips the leadoff man. And a fly ball toward left. Pretty well hit, but it's going to be caught in left field. Corey Snyder makes the first put out of the game, and the batter will be Alan Trammell.
Yeah, there's no home field advantage right now as far as knowing how to play the ball. Certainly the fans will create the hometown atmosphere, but the White Sox players, just like the Tigers, just got here the first time they played, so they don't know how the ball carries. They don't know which way the wind's blowing, whether it's swirling or not. So it's really, they're going to have to learn by their mistakes.
And the pitch coming up to Trammell, right down the middle, and this fellow throws hard, Jack McDowell.
Allen, pretty much a gap hitter against right-handers, right center, left center field, will occasionally pull the ball down the line.
The one-strike pitch is a breaking ball inside. Jack McDowell, one of the many college ball players coming right into the pro ranks and doing well. 1 ball, 1 strike. He hit it on the end of the bat. Makes it 1-2 to Trammell. Tomorrow's an off day. The Tigers resume play here on Friday night. Saturday and Sunday. Big weekend of baseball here in Chicago. And the 1-2 pitch. Look out! It hit the bat, I think.
Yep, looked like it hit the bat.
Went right over the top of his helmet and hit the bat.
Whether this is a split finger fastball or not, you see Carlton looking inside, and that ball just over the head of Allen, and just certainly your first thought is get out of the way. He doesn't take the bat down, which you can understand. He's just trying to get out of the way.
The worst thing that could have happened there would have been a fair ball, hit the bat and roll back to the pitcher, and it has happened.
White Sox for years used to brush Alan Trammell back and go out with a breaking ball. Let's see what he does here. Yep,
that's what he did.
They used to have Lamar Hoyt and those guys. Remember a few years back, they used to knock Alan Trammell down because he's such a good hitter, and then try to intimidate him and go away from him. Bounced back pretty good from 1989, 243, 304 last year.
And a ground ball up the middle. Guillen as it throws and safe. Guillen almost made an outstanding play. Dive for the ball, and it popped out of his glove. Otherwise, he would have been able to throw Trammell out.
Like some reason he didn't get a real good jump on that ball. Certainly the ball wasn't that close to second base. Whether or not the background is all not that great, but this guy usually sucks that ball up. But you can see there, had he been able to field it cleanly, he might have been able to throw Allen out, but he beats it out. Base hit.
He was complaining to the umpire about the dirt giving away under him. They have moved the dirt.
What, just a couple weeks ago or
10
days ago, whatever it was. I mean, not very long ago.
From the old ballpark over here. All of the dirt, it came from the old ballpark over here. And he was complaining and showing the umpire where the dirt came out from under his spikes as he went after the ball. So it's a single for Trammell. He's at first base with one out, and the batter will be Lou Whitaker. The first hit in the new park belongs to Trammell, and the pitch is outside to Lou.
They bunch Lou Whitaker. In fact, the center fielder is shading Lou to left field, so it looks like they're going to try to pitch Lou Whitaker away. Sammy Sosa's given Lou Whitaker a lot of the right field line.
1 ball, no strikes. See the runner at first, Trammell. And the pitch to Lou. It's a strike. He got it on the outside part of the plate.
You know, as a hitter, if you look at the fielders, sometimes you can figure out or learn how the opposing team is going to pitch you. If you see the fielders playing around, and it's pretty obvious that they're going to try to pitch you away.
Catch the glance at the catcher out of the corner of your eye. He'll move over a little bit. There goes the runner, and a bouncer into right field. On to third will go Trammell. And the Tigers will have him at first and third with only 1 out. Ball just under the glove of Frank Thomas at first base.
Sparky Anderson, having Alan Trammell batting third pretty much all this season, has inserted Lou Whitaker, third batter, Alan Trammell at second, creating that hole for Lou Whitaker to hit the ball into. Figuring Trammell will be on base a lot. Lou Whitaker pretty much a pull hitter.
First and third, 1 out, and the batter is Cecil Fielder.
They got the ball out. Alan Trammell requested the baseball, and I'm sure I missed something about Alan Trammell next hit. 1 hit.
Maybe he wanted the ball for the first hit in the new ballpark, or he is nearing 2,000 hits, but I don't think he's that close. Cecil the batter with 2 on and 1 out. Good stop by Fisk. First put out. They want the ball. First base hit the ball. We may be here a while.
First strikeout.
Yeah, we run out of baseballs.
Big guy looking for his first home run of the year. And don't panic, Tiger fans. It took him 6 or 7 games last year before he got his first home run, and then he went on to hit 51.
He's got a chance to drive in the first run of the game. This one is low. Ball 2, no strikes. Kansas City plays at Boston this afternoon. Red Sox scored a run. They lead 1-0 in the third. And Baltimore's in Milwaukee for an afternoon game. The 2-0 pitch to Cecil Fielder, and he hits it behind second base. It's not deep.
Yeah, he can throw if he gets the ball. You got to be sure.
There'll be no advance by anybody. Cecil got hit right on the fist and popped it up into shallow right field.
Cecil, who is being bothered by his left elbow. He got hit by a pitch yesterday, and I was talking to him on the bench before the game, and it swelled up quite a bit. But certainly ahead of the count, that's the ball you really have to drive. Hit him on the handle. Do it by him.
So it'll be up to Peter Incaviglia. First and third, 2 outs. Pete starting in his 7th straight game for the Tigers. 1 home run, 2 runs batted in. Jack McDowell trying to get out of a jam in the first inning. Whoops. It never works, Jack. Very seldom. Tony Phillips started the game with a fly to left. Trammell single, Whitaker single, putting runners at first and third, and then Cecil Fielder popped it up. And the pitch is a strike to Incaviglia. Not too much fancy stuff from McDowell. He throws hard. Good slider. Inside, evens the count at 1-1. McDowell has won 2, lost none this year, and as Al pointed out, he's just been about perfect. Earned run average of 1 in the first 2 ball games. 1-0-0. Well, he's got that trick play.
Never seen that play work. Joe Torre, when managing Atlanta, said it never works, but it worked against this team twice in 1 year. Got picked off at first base.
You've got to have a guy at first base that's very ambitious and wants to run. And sometimes he'll stray a little bit, but not very often. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Incaviglia, only 27 years old, had 24 home runs last year for Texas, and everyone's still puzzled by giving his outright release by Texas.
See the base runners. Trammell is at third, Whitaker at first, and the 1-2 pitch to Incaviglia. There goes the runner. No throw. Nobody even covering. A stolen base for Whitaker. Tigers trying to get the White Sox to start throwing the ball around, and Fisk just held on. Ball 2 and strike 2. Good shot from our camera in center field as Fisk flashes the signs. And a fly ball into left. It's well hit. Way back on the warning track, and now he comes in to get it. The wind is blowing in. Corey Snyder was going back to the fence, and he moves into the edge of the warning track to catch it. We go to the bottom of the first. There is no score.
Now for the White Sox, leading off the DH today, Tim Raines. Batting second in center field, Lance Johnson. The third batter, Robin Ventura at third base. Batting fourth, playing first base, Frank Thomas. The fifth batter, Carlton Fisk, catcher. Batting sixth in right field, Sammy Sosa. Batting seventh, Corey Snyder in left field. The eighth batter, the captain, Ozzie Guillen, shortstop. And batting ninth, second base, Scott Fletcher. Defensively, for the Tigers, Incaviglia, Shelby, and Deere in the outfield. Fryman, Trammell, Whitaker, Fielder, Tettleton behind the plate, and Frank Tanana on the mound for the Tigers. Frank 0-1 this year. There he is, pitched 2 games. His last game was a dandy, and Tigers unable to score any runs. He was a loser in the game 4-1 against these same White Sox. Great pitchers duel that he faced Jack McDowell and pitched 8 2/3 innings, allowed 7 hits and 4 runs. He walked 5 and struck out 3. Of course, that Tiger defense was brought to you by the Metro Detroit Quality Ford dealers. Frank in his, I think it's his 18th year in the major leagues. Yes, it is. And he has career starts, 523 career starts.
Tim Raines will lead it off for the White Sox, the switch hitting designated hitter. Then Lance Johnson and Robin Ventura. We mentioned at the top of the show that Tanana pitched against the White Sox in Detroit. Went into the ninth, tied 1-1. A good performance by Tanana. The White Sox scored 3 to win that game 4-1. Raines batting at 133, getting off to a slow start in the American League. But this fella can hit.
He's always been a good hitter, George. He's been hitting the ball hard, but so far has not been able to find the holes.
And a strike. Tanana coming in with a fastball. Tigers threatened, failed to score in the top of the inning. They made a bid on the long fly ball by Incaviglia. Looked at one time as if it had a chance to get out of here. The wind is blowing across from left field, and Al, I think it held it up.
Well, I think once it got out far enough, the wind caught a hold of it, as the stands blocked most of the wind, but as it got deeper in the outfield, it knocked it down.
There's a swing at a breaking ball. Makes it 1-2 to Baines. To Raines. Harold Baines is in Oakland. And this is Tim Raines. Led the National League in batting one year. The pitch from Tanana. He got him. At the inside corner, and Palermo waves him away. Tim Raines didn't like the call too much.
Well, this is when Frank is effective. 2 strikes on a hitter, still able to throw the fastball inside and catch the hitters off balance. Frank throws so many off-speed pitches. Tim wasn't too sure that was a called strike. Palermo rated by all the players in the poll the best umpire in the American League.
Yeah. This is Lance Johnson, and he hits it on the ground foul. The little speedster Johnson came to the White Sox from the Cardinals. And this fella runs with the wind. No home runs, you see. No runs batted in. Slap hitter. And they play very shallow on the infield. Everybody's in. Breaking ball outside.
White Sox have got some speed. They have 4 players in their lineup who can run and expect to steal about 30 bases apiece, at least.
1 ball, 1 strike as Tanana gets ready. And a foul out of play makes it 1-2.
You notice the White Sox hitters, particularly the left-handed hitters, every time they swing the bat, they'll look over to the dugout, getting instruction from Herniak about what they're doing at the plate.
That's a tough way to hit.
Yeah.
Would be for me. Here's 1-2. And the count goes even at 2-2. Walt Herniak, in case we have not explained it to you, is the highly paid batting coach of this ball club. They hired him away from the Red Sox and
gave him a long-term contract. I think he might be the highest paid coach in the major leagues.
I think so. And he has a very distinct style that he teaches to the hitters. Right down the middle, and Johnson caught looking. So Tanana strikes out the first 2 batters. No argument on that one, as Lance Johnson had to be looking for a breaking ball.
Well, the one thing thing that you're taught with 2 strikes. There's no way you can be guessing breaking ball. You have to look for the fastball and then adjust to the off-speed pitches. Just impossible to catch up to the fastball if you're looking for a slow curve.
This is Robin Ventura, highly touted young third baseman. The pitch is outside. He is another great product of Oklahoma State. Tigers have 3 on their roster from Oklahoma State. Pitch is over but low. Ball 2, no strikes. We're in the first inning. No score. The Tigers put a couple of runners on base. Failed to score in the top of this inning. Tanana trying to get him 1, 2, 3. It's a bunt, and it's a good one. Robin Ventura with a bunt single. Fryman did about all he could do. Really, as a third baseman, you don't expect a guy to bunt with 2 outs. You expect him to go for the extra base hit.
Travis playing back behind the bag. And really, it wasn't a good bunt other than the fact that Travis was playing deep. Made a good play. It was a close play at first base, but certainly he was safe.
So a bunt single for Ventura, and the batter is Frank Thomas.
We're waiting for this young guy to get uncranked. Looks like he's going to be the real power hitter for the ball club. Him and Carlton Fisk, the only 2 guys, legitimate power hitters. Although Sammy Sosa off to a good start this year with 3 home runs.
Yeah, he's had 3. He's not that power hitter that they're looking for, Sosa, but he has 3 home runs on the year. This fellow's from Auburn University, same as Bo Jackson. Breaking ball inside. Ball 2, no strikes.
His natural power is to right center, left center field. He doesn't pull the ball very much. He swings late on the fastball and will hit the ball a lot to right field.
We'll see what Tanana throws 2-0. Threw him a breaking ball. Exit ball 2 and strike 1.
A little anxious for this youngster who's struggling at the plate, trying to impress his peers, and you see they're anxious and swings at a bad pitch.
Runner at first base is Ventura, and he will run. It's ball 2 and strike 1. Frank Thomas, the batter, with 2 outs and a runner at first base. And a fly ball toward right center field. It's going to be caught. Rob Deere is there, puts it away. And at the end of 1, it's 0-0. Michigan.
Yeah, this is the easy one, too. It probably won't get any easier than this all year. Named the top right-handed home run hitter in White Sox history. He had 354 home runs going into this season. 192 with the White Sox. He had previously played for the Boston Red Sox.
Here's a bunt by Tettleton, and it goes back into the crowd. Mickey Tettleton, the leadoff man, Rob Deere, and then John Shelby for the Tigers in the 2nd inning. And the first souvenir baseball goes to this young man. Tettleton getting off to a slow start, batting at 167. And the pitch is inside. As we drove up to the new ballpark today, Al, you could see the big gaping hole in the old one. They're tearing it down a little at a time.
Yeah, by the end of the season, there'll be a big parking structure across the street.
Right now, there is very little parking around here. The paper said 6,000 parking spaces, and 3,000 of those belong to season ticket holders. They were encouraging everybody to come out by the train, the L. Here's a pop-up behind second base. Ozzie Guillen calling for it. And there's 1 out. So Mickey Tettleton is out. 1 out in the second inning, and the batter will be Rob Deere. Send our best to Jim Campbell. He's back in Detroit watching the ball game, and hope Jim's feeling better. I tried to call him all morning, but no answer in his room. Sparky says he was down for some tests.
Yeah, we give him our best, and he'll be out at the old ballpark pretty soon.
Rob Deere. He's the batter with 1 out and nobody on. Breaking ball hangs high.
Rob off to a slow start. He really struggled at the big. Had 1 hit in his first 18 tries, but has collected 3 in his last 7 at bats. So maybe he's getting unwound here.
This is ball 2.
Rob has to be a little bit more selective at the plate. He has too large a strike zone, and he's just going to have to look for location.
There's a strike. No doubt when Palermo goes up with the right hand.
Great for broadcasters, isn't it?
Yeah. No delay, no hesitation, and no doubt. The hitters wish sometimes he wouldn't be so emphatic as he waves you away at the plate. It's ball 3 and strike 1 to the big guy.
And here's where Rob has to be selective. He has 2 strikes. They don't want to walk him. Look for a ball in a certain area.
He does. Bounces to third. Robin Ventura with a long throw to first base. So Deere is out. 2nd out of the inning, and the batter will be John Shelby.
Rob will go back to the bench and he'll say, now why did I swing at that pitch? I had 1 strike, the ball was low and away. Why did I swing it?
Yeah, 3 and 1.
You go back, you kick yourself, but it really takes a lot of concentration at the plate.
Here's the switch hitting John Shelby. Taking a pitch outside. This ballpark seats 43,000 plus. And they're all here today.
And some.
And some more, yeah.
You can look out in the right center, left center field bleachers. I guess they call them the bleachers. People standing in the background there in the walkways.
1 ball, 1 strike to Shelby. As we were coming into the ballpark, I don't know whether you noticed it or not, but a man and his young son looked like 12, 14 years old. They were holding up their fingers for 2 tickets. Anybody, if you got 2 extra tickets. Here's the standees in left field that Al was talking about.
Very similar to Oakland's ballpark in straightaway outfield.
It is. One of the White Sox officials had a story in the paper today, and he said they went to every new ballpark in the country when they were getting ready to build this. And the question they ask everybody, what would you do differently than you did? Is there any changes? And they told him every change they would have made, and he said we incorporated that into our plans. Here's a fly ball into center. Ball is not deep. Playable for Lance Johnson, and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 0-0. Over near the Chicago dugout. He went to a wedding this morning and didn't have time to change clothes. Came straight to the ballpark. No, all of our people today are in tux, and they look great, don't they?
They sure do.
Everybody's in a tux but you and I.
I'm glad too.
Yeah. It's going to be Fisk to lead it off. Carlton Fisk, the leadoff man. Sammy Sosa will follow, and then Corey Snyder.
Carlton with 354 home runs going into the season, looking for his first of the year. Off to a good start, though, batting .391.
He's the big man. He's the power man of the ball club. And he's had a long and a great career with the Red Sox and with the White Sox.
He's going on 43 or is 43 years old. Great condition. 43 years old.
And the pitch from Tanana. It's a ball.
Here's the hitting pattern for Carlton. Pretty much a pull hitter against the left-handers. And again, the reason for that is that he is the one player before Frank Thomas that they relied on the power. So usually a power hitter will pull the ball more.
A strike. Makes it 1-1. Carlton Fisk hit the dramatic home run in the 1975 World Series against Cincinnati, against Sparky's ball club. That sent the series into the 7th game. And a line drive base hit into left. Just out of the reach of Trammell. And Fisk is on with a base hit.
He's so big and strong. He is absolutely fooled on this pitch. Look how he goes way out in front and reaches. Of course, he loves the ball out over the plate and just out of the reach of Alan Trammell. Really only fair that Carlton gets the first legitimate base hit by the White Sox, although Robin Ventura got a base hit via the bunt.
This is Sammy Sosa. And he fouls it away. Sammy Sosa had 2 home runs on opening day against Baltimore. And he had 1 in Yankee Stadium. 3 on the year for this guy. Good-looking young ball player they got from the Texas club. Another one of the good trades this club has made.
Oh yeah, they made the commitment to go to younger players. I mentioned before they got rid of some older players knowing that they weren't going to win. Got rid of some salary that way, and they said hopefully these young players will perform, and by the time they open a new stadium. And this guy is a good hitter, particularly against left-handers. He stays in there a lot longer against left-handers than the right-hand pitching.
This one outside. Our first trivia call today went to George Cohen of Turner, Michigan. And George was not at home, so our second call is going to Richland, Michigan.
And we're looking for the top right-hand hitting home run hitter in White Sox history. Carlton Fisk at first base.
There's a squibber, and it's going to stay fair. Cecil will make the play unassisted. Sammy Sosa hit it right on the end of the bat. That ball was foul for about a third of the way down the line, or a little more, and then came right back into play. Take a look at it now. Maybe you can see the ball outside the line.
He cues it, and he's got the reverse spin on it. It looked like he was going to go foul all the way.
Sosa, excuse me,
he will get an AB, although it's acted very much like a sacrifice, but he will get a time at bat.
Sosa's out. Fisk goes to second, and the batter is Corey Snyder. Snyder came to the White Sox from the Indians. This fella at one time was going to be the franchise ball player in Cleveland, but somewhere along the way it didn't pan out.
It looked like he was going to be the franchise, one of the best players in all of baseball his first couple of years, and the last couple he's gone backwards. And of course White Sox are hoping they can revitalize him and get him back up to where he was. A good athlete, can play a lot of spots, an excellent outfielder with a great throwing arm, but he has a tendency to strike out a lot.
Carlton Fisk, the runner at second. And the 1-strike pitch. We'll make it strike 2. Well, everybody knows this ball club signed Bo Jackson. They're paying him $700,000, and he will not play this year. They're gambling that he can come back. Here he is on the bench.
He's going to hold a big press conference tomorrow. He said he didn't want to hold one today and take anything away from the opening day ceremonies, but he will talk to the press tomorrow. It's a day off. Both teams will be here, will be working out at Comiskey Park tomorrow, weather permitting.
The strike 2 pitch to Snyder, and it's low. forecasting rain in Chicagoland tonight and tomorrow. And it's cloudy and overcast right now as we look at Jeff Torborg, the manager, and Sammy Ellis, the pitching coach. You see those two right together all the way through the game. Another foul ball. Chuck Wozniak tells us that Torborg was having trouble before the ball game finding a way onto the field. Well, everybody was a little bit confused today. This is the first day the park has been open, but you'd think the manager might have been here or had somebody to escort him onto the field. Pitch is inside to Corey Schneider. Frank Tanana trying to shut him down in the second inning. Carlton Fisk opened the inning with a single, went to second on the bounce out by Sammy Sosa. And a fly ball to right. Rob Deere over near the line. That's the second out of the inning. Fisk holds at second base. He might have had a chance to tag and go to third, and probably should have.
In former years, I think there's no question that he would have, but two-knee operation, scraping some bone off the knees, and he used to run pretty well for a catcher, very well for a catcher, but he's not running very much anymore.
This is Ozzie Guillen, the slick fielding shortstop of the White Sox. Tanana delivers, and a fly ball behind second. Whitaker on the run. He's going to catch it. He hit it on the end of the bat, and Lou Whitaker ran it down in shallow center field. At the end of two, it's still 0-0. Wayne correctly answered our question. He's won 2 tickets to a Tiger home game, and Al, you might give the answer to today's trivia question.
Well, the answer is the future Hall of Famer Carlton Fisk. 192 career home runs for the Chicago White Sox. That's the most in White Sox history.
All right, we'll have another trivia question for you on our next pregame show, April 30th. It will be in Kansas City.
Nicknamed Pudge. He was always pudgy as a kid. That was the nickname they gave him when he was with the Red Sox.
He's a little pudgy now, but that's all muscle.
Yeah. Great conditioned athlete, I'm telling you.
Yeah, this is as far into the upper deck as you can get, and Bob Uecker seats, Chuck Wozniak said, and that's right. That is a long way up there.
That's upper deck down the right field line, directly all the way at the very top. Section 506.
You get
remember me if I ever get tickets and it says 506 on it. Return them.
Well, you get a parachute with them in case you fall out. Pull the string. Here's Fryman to lead it off. Travis Fryman fouls it away. Tigers made a run at McDowell in the first inning. They had runners at first and third, 1 out, but Fielder with a short fly ball couldn't get them in, and then Incaviglia hit one deep to left that was caught. Just a reminder that coming up later will be our Bud Batter's Box home run inning, and if your name has been selected and a Tiger hits a home run, well, you're going to win $100 and a share of a $10,000 bonus at the end of the year. So stay tuned for that. You could be the winner. 1 ball, 1 strike. That'll make it ball 2. Bill Hasse is here today along with Bo Schembechler, and they've inspected every new ballpark in both leagues in the last year or so. It's 1 ball, 3. 3-1 to Fryman. McDowell gets ready, and the 3-1 pitch, he threw it right by him.
Travis Fryman, the youngest player on the Tiger club, only 22 years old. Turned 22 March 25th. Off to a good start. Leads the Tigers in RBIs with 7.
And the 3-2 pitch. It's fouled away. Fryman had a big 3-run homer against Toronto on the Tigers' last homestand. Ball 3, strike 2. And another foul that'll be out of play. A lot of features from the old ballpark just across the street. The scoreboard, the dirt we told you about. Would you believe that? All the dirt from the infield brought over here.
The look on the outside, very similar.
Yes, it is. He walked him. Travis Fryman gets a walk. And the Tigers get their first base runner since the first inning.
It's a ballpark that you can come here and great view, but you can watch the game in comfort. You can go in the back. You can get to the concession stand, to the Johns, very easily.
There's Tony Phillips, who flied to left field to start the game. Tony the Tiger, batting with a runner at first and nobody out. There goes the runner, and a drive foul down the right field line. The hit and run was on, and Phillips hit it hard but pulled it foul.
Well, you see what Sparky's trying to do. Tony Phillips, who did so well in spring training, was hitting the ball hard on the line, but since the start of the season been popping the ball up, and he's trying to get him to hit the ball down, hit it on the ground, and he lines the ball just foul down the right field line. Tony had a great spring training.
It's 1 strike to Tony. Fryman does not get the big lead at first base, but he's going again, and another foul ball. Twice in a row, the Tigers on the hit and run play. And he had a pretty good pitch to hit. It was up in the strike zone, but
I tell you, I think they can get a good jump off of McDowell. He didn't have a big lead, but he had a big jump. McDowell takes a little bit of time releasing the ball.
They're in the 7th inning in Boston. It's still 1-0 Boston. Roger Clemens. Boy, is he off to a great start. 2-0, going for 3 today. Might be Saberhagen, you think? Check it out here in a moment. It's the breaking ball, low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They're straight away for Tony and not too deep. As Al told you when we were in Detroit playing Chicago, these fellows in the outfield here throw very well. This one is low, ball 2. Ball 2 and strike 2.
Saberhagen is listed as the starting pitcher for Kansas City. He's 1-1 this season. Of course, Rogers 2-0.
I think he wears number 18 on the back of his uniform. Ball 2, strike 2. He might be running again. He is. Pitch is outside and no throw to second. No throw at all. I don't think Fisk ever did see Fryman running.
Either that or he thought it was ball 4.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
And I think he also is questioning the fact that he thought it was a strike also.
A stolen base for Fryman. He's at second with nobody out, and it's 3-2 to Phillips. He's battled back from a strike 2 count. And a bouncing ball to second. It's going to get the runner over to third. Scott Fletcher going far to his left to pick it off. And on to third goes Fryman. He's there with 1 out.
And you can see the teammates congratulating Phillips, and you say, well, how come they're congratulating? He made an out. He did what he was trying to do. Certainly wanted to get a base hit, but if he didn't, he wanted to move the base runner to third base. He's a team player. A lot of guys will go up there and say, I'll drive him in. And consequently, they pop the ball up or pull it so the man can't advance. Tony Phillips, a great team player, trying to move the base runner up.
Here in the third inning, they're going to play the infield in. A threat of rain in the air, and Torborg says, we don't want to let anybody get a run up on us. So the infield in tight for Trammell. Here's Jeff Torborg. Fryman, the runner at third, 1 out. And the pitch is inside, ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. See the little chin mustache. A 2-0 pitch to Trammell. He didn't have a very good swing at the 2-0 pitch. Fouled it away. It's got to be a changeup he threw on that pitch.
I think it's a fork ball.
Fork ball.
Yeah, he's thrown it all 3 pitches to Allen.
Tigers trying to take the lead here in the third inning. They had this chance in the first inning, and Cecil popped it into shallow right field. The runner could not score. Now Trammell trying to get the run in. Outside, ball 3.
Try to keep the ball away from Alan Trammell in this situation. Allen very quick inside normally, but looked like they've been trying to throw him off-speed pitches and throw him pitches away.
It's ball 3 and strike 1 as McDowell gets ready. And a base hit into right. That'll get a run in. Alan Trammell drills it into right field, and the Tigers take the lead 1-0. 2 for Trammell.
Hit the ball sharply in the hole, infield in. This is great hitting. Hit the ball hard. Difficult for the infielders to react when they're playing that close.
It's Fryman coming in to score.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Alan Trammell off and running. Everybody seems to be running off of not so much the catcher as the pitcher.
Whitaker is the batter. He had a base hit in the first inning. There goes Trammell. Throw to second and safe. You're right, Al. They're running on McDowell right now.
He lifts his legs and he drops his hands way down, and that gives the base runner a 1, 2, 3 step before the ball is even released, and you have to be right on the money to get a fast runner.
Tigers have 3 stolen bases today. And a chance for Lou Whitaker to drive in a run. Good stop by Fisk. The ball was headed for the backstop.
He might have got that one on his meat hand. He tried to get over in front of it, and I think he might have caught it with his hand instead of the glove. A lot will depend for the White Sox on whether Carlton Fisk stays healthy this year.
Very important.
Certainly he leads this young pitching staff. He guides them through the games.
It's ball 2 and no strikes. We'll see if they want to pitch to Whitaker with first base open. Ball 3. Not too anxious with some right-handed batters coming up. Fielder and Incaviglia. Sparky might turn him loose, let him swing. 3-0. He walked him. McDowell wanted no part of the left-handed hitting Lou Whitaker, and that'll bring Sammy Ellis to the mound. Sammy, the pitching coach for the White Sox.
Really not much you can say to this young man who has pitched brilliantly for these guys so far this season. A 14-game winner for him last year, but obviously his control is not what he wants it to be.
Well, he's had a couple of walks and a base hit this inning. A stolen base. The Tigers have scored a run, and Sammy Ellis just doesn't want the game to get out of hand right here. It's Jeff Torborg looking on. Cecil flied to right field his first time up. Two on, one out, and the Tigers lead it 1-0. Big swing by Fielder and fouls it away.
Only the 6th player in history to lead the league in home runs and strikeouts. Led the major leagues in home runs and RBIs, 51 and 132.
He's got a chance to put some on the board right here. This one's outside. Makes it 1-1.
Here's the scouting report. Gets the ball to all fields with power.
Trammell is the runner at second. Whitaker at first. Pitch to Cecil. He hits it high in the air, deep, way back in right field. It's got a chance and gone. A home run for Cecil Fielder. A 3-run homer, and the Tigers lead it 4-0.
Well, it certainly looks like the ball carrying well to right field. Their breeze blowing to the right field foul pole. Cecil, who has that bad left elbow, looked like he was trying to go out that way. Got it high in the air. First home run of the year for the big man, who hit 51 last year.
Well, that one got up in the wind and just kept going over the fence and into the bleachers out there as we take a look at his swing. Watch this now.
And there's about 15 or 20 feet past the fence before you get to the stands.
Here's Incaviglia. He hit the ball hard his first time up with 2 runners aboard. It was caught in left field, but he hit his into the wind, and Cecil hit his with the wind. And the pitch is low, ball 2. It's been a struggle this inning for McDowell.
Well, those base on balls will come back to kill you.
Yeah, he walked the leadoff man to start it. And another walk this inning. Inside, ball 3, 3-0. Oh, that's going to start some stirring in the bullpen. Answering the telephone. Incaviglia signed with the Tigers the night before opening day. And he walked him. The 3rd walk this inning. 43,000 people getting a little bit restless.
White Sox bullpen in deep left center field, right behind the 375 mark.
Chuck Wozniak tells us he has found Vice President Quayle. Here he is, right behind home plate.
He must have got here late because it looks like they're going to make some kind of an announcement. I think the fans will be too receptive to that.
Here goes the runner, and a towering fly ball. If it stays fair, it's a home run, and it's foul. Well, it wouldn't have made it. Wind blowing it foul down the right field line.
They had Incaviglia running.
Yeah, Incaviglia was on the go. Everybody's running. Kind of shakes up the pitcher when he knows everybody's going to be running.
0 for 8 against Jack McDowell, 7 strikeouts. I would say he doesn't hit him too well.
Oh, Mickey Tettleton popped to the shortstop his first time up. Jack Clark was benched before yesterday's ball game. He was 0 for 9 with 8 strikeouts. Brian Drummond, we saw him warming up over in Detroit last week. It's strike 2 to Tettleton. Tigers have had 3 walks this inning, a single by Trammell that drove in a run, a 3-run homer by Fielder, and the Tigers lead at 4-0. And still only 1 out. And a ball hit to first base, goes to second for 1 out, and nobody covering at first base. Well, they had a double play. Easy double play, and nobody covered first base. Thomas just picked it up, threw to second, and stood there.
He was waiting for the pitcher to get over there to cover. He does go over. He probably sees him out of the corner of his eye, throws the ball, and he thinks the pitcher is behind him now. No one's there.
It's a good thing he picked it off because there was nobody at first base, and you see he picks it off well in front of the bag. It's out number 2, and it'll bring up Rob Deere. Tettleton hit the ball hard, but right at Thomas. Rob Deere fouls it away. The Tigers lead it. We're in the 3rd inning. Yesterday he hit into his first double play since July 1989. What's unusual for a big fellow like this that hits the ball so hard.
He pops the ball up a lot, and of course he strikes out a lot.
It's 1 strike to Deere. The 7th Tiger batter. 8th Tiger batter this inning. There's a breaking ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jack McDowell with a long 3rd inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and another foul ball. Deere had 27 home runs last year in Milwaukee. Is that about right?
It's a lot of them. And, 27, yeah.
There goes the runner, and another foul ball. They had Tettleton running. Mickey Tettleton, the runner at first, 2 outs, and it's 1-2 to Deere. They're deep and around the left field for Rob. McDowell decides to throw over. He doesn't throw over there much. For a guy who's rather easy to run on. waiting on the 1-2 pitch. Oh, one hit deep, way back and left, and this one's gone. Oh, he got it all. Rob Deere drives it into the left field seats, and the Tigers lead it 6-0.
I could hear the crack of the bat up here, and I took a peek at Rob Deere, and he put his head down as if to say, "I got all that one," and he certainly did. Over halfway up in the bleachers.
And it's going to be all for McDowell as we look at this one. Right down the middle.
He got a fastball right down the middle, maybe in a half, and Rob says, "I got all that, baby." It took a while to come, but number one for Rob Deere, and will be a lot more where that came from. And that had to feel good for him.
Now we're seeing the vice president coming onto the field.
I don't think they're going to be too receptive to the vice president after being White Sox getting up 6 runs here in the 3rd inning. There is the vice president.
Yeah, they're liable to boo anybody right now.
They're not too happy. If it were the other way around, he'd get a standing ovation probably, but they're losing. I mean, they're out to see the old ball game.
That was the governor of Illinois greeting him. And while there's a break in the action, we're going to pause for these messages on the Tiger Baseball Network.
Okay, the new pitcher, number 50, Brian Druman. Just 24 years old, a big guy, and they really like this young man. Just 6'3", 205 pounds. He has pitched 1 game so far this year. There's his record. Earned run average of 5. He's only pitched 1 2/3 innings, allowed 2 hits and 1 run. Didn't walk anybody and hasn't struck anybody out. Last year with the Birmingham Ball Club, he was 6 wins and 4 losses. With 17 saves for their Double-A ball club down in Birmingham.
It will be John Shelby, the first batter to face Drummond. Brian Drummond will be facing the 9th batter this inning. John Shelby made the last out in the 2nd inning, and he is the 9th batter here in the 3rd. Been a big inning for the Tigers. They've scored 6 times. A couple of home runs, a 3-run homer by Fielder, a 2-run homer by Deere, and the other run knocked in by Trammell with a single. This is going to be out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. This one hit down the line in left field all the way to the fence, and extra bases for John Shelby. John Shelby lines it over the head of Corey Snyder, 1 hop off the fence. And the beat goes on for the Tigers.
Here's a swing of Shelby. This guy's been hitting well the last few games, and he hits the ball hard. He's not noted for hitting the ball the opposite way, but well over the head of the left fielder Corey Snyder. Short hops to left field fence.
And the batter is Fryman. He drew a walk and scored a run to start this inning. Pitch is high. .500 in day games on the road last year. He'd like to drive in a run. Shelby's at second with 2 outs. And the pitch inside, ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. Tiger bats booming here in the 3rd inning. Drummond gets ready, and the 2-0 pitch. Ball 3. Ball 3, no strikes. Tony Phillips would bet next. As the youngster gets ready. No strike, makes it 3-1. Tigers have 6 runs on 7 hits. White Sox no runs on 2 hits. And a fly ball to center. Johnson is there. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, and the Tigers lead it 6-0. These are the private boxes along the 1st and 3rd baseline all the way into the outfield. The morning paper says they go from $50,000 to $90,000 a year, depending on the number of seats that you want.
Pretty good revenue right there, I would say, for the Chicago White Sox.
They're all sold except 12, and they wanted to keep those back in case the vice president's here and wants one or somebody. Yeah.
There's the vice president along with the commissioner, governor
Governor of Illinois, Tim Thompson, Commissioner Fay Vincent. And they are signing baseballs. Scott Fletcher will lead it off for the White Sox. Scott Fletcher, Tim Raines, and Lance Johnson will be the batters. 6-0, the Tigers lead it. Scott Fletcher, the little second baseman. Then he fouls it away.
Scott Fletcher, the #1 draft pick by the Cubs in '79. Back to the White Sox for the 2nd time.
He's had a home run this year. Doesn't hit many. Ready to bunt, and it's a ball. Baltimore 3, Milwaukee 2 at the end of 4. And it's Boston 1, Kansas City 0 at the end of 8. Saberhagen is gone. Roger Clemens pitching for Boston. Texas plays in Cleveland tonight, and Oakland at California. Action in the American League. Ball 2, strike 1. The Dodgers are in San Diego this afternoon. Chicago plays at Pittsburgh tonight. And the Phillies are in St. Louis. The Cardinals getting home to open their season. They've been on the road all year, like the White Sox. Ball 2, strike 1 to Fletcher. And he fouls it away. Tigers play here again Saturday and Sunday. Then it's on to New York and then Toronto, then Kansas City on this extended road trip. Ball hit the shortstop. Alan Trammell makes the play. So Fletcher is out. 1 out in the 3rd inning, and the batter will be Tim Raines.
One thing about Frank Tanana, whether he's leading by a lot of runs or in a tight ball game, he will pitch the same. He will not give in to the batters. He will not throw fastballs right down the middle of the plate. He'll turn the ball over, take something off of it, throw breaking balls. He'll stay at the same pattern no matter what the score is.
Raines a strikeout victim in the 1st inning. Here's the curve inside. Reached base safely in his last 5 games. And the foul goes out of play.
Tim Raines, 49 stolen bases last year, was caught stealing 16 times, but he's led the National League in 4 separate years in stolen bases.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Raines. The switch hitting designated hitter hits it foul. Well, the call was made by Rich Garcia. I don't know whether Palermo was going to make it or not. He was looking, and Rich Garcia quickly signaled foul ball. Very close. Here's Garcia.
Is he the dean of the umpires, I believe, isn't he?
I don't know. He's the crew chief here.
And another very good umpire, by the way.
Rich Garcia. It's 1-2 to Tim Raines. Ooh, he almost got him. Makes it 2-2.
Got him set up for the fastball inside now. That was the pitch he struck him out on in the first inning.
Ball 2, strike 2. And right off the foot.
Look at him on the foot or on the knee.
No. He's hobbling around a bit.
Don't hurt those wheels, young man. There's the fastball inside. Oh, I hit him on the knee or on the shin.
It sure did. I think right on the knee. That's worse than the foot. Tim Raines is a Ricky Henderson type player, and he said it was going to be a real challenge over here to compete against Ricky Henderson.
In fact, he said he was looking forward to it. Ricky should be about ready to start playing again.
Yeah, he's been out since I think he played the first 2 games of the year, and he's been out since.
Hasn't stopped the Oakland A's. They're 8-1. Pretty good start for the champions.
Pitch is low, ball 3. Not the same ball club that played in the World Series, is it?
No.
Boy, they didn't look like world champions in the World Series.
Cincinnati was a team of destiny.
There's the 3-2 pitch. Ooh, base hit as he rifled it up the middle into center field. Tim Raines is on with a base hit. And we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Tiger Baseball Network.
Hello, West Michigan. I'm Barry Shanley in News 3. The rail strike ends, the president signs the order, and Governor Engler picketed in Kalamazoo. Join us at 6 for News 3.
A 1-out single by Raines. And the batter will be Johnson. This fella hit .321 against left-handers last year.
Might have been their best clutch hitter all last season. Drove in a lot of big runs for them.
There goes the runner. He's got it stolen. No way. Pendleton didn't have a chance.
There's the great jump that he got. No chance anybody was going to throw him out. That's number 2 on the year for Raines. He has not been thrown out.
He's at second with 1 out. And the pitch was a strike to Johnson. And a foul ball makes it strike 2. Mayor Daley is here today. Everybody.
That's anybody.
Who's anybody is here today.
All the front runners are here today.
Strike 2 to Lance Johnson. And he pops it into shallow left center field. Incaviglia calls Shelby off and makes the play. So Johnson is out number 2, and he'll leave it up to Robin Ventura.
Sun's starting to pop through here, and we'll see if the left fielder in fact does have some trouble with it. The Sun field will be left field here at Comiskey Park. In other fields, the right fielder is the one that has to battle the Sun throughout the day games.
Ventura had a bunt single in the first inning. Not likely to be bunting right now with a runner at second and 2 outs. We're in the third inning in Chicago. The Tigers 6 and the White Sox nothing. Tanana trying to get him out here in the third inning. Delivers inside. Range does not go as the ball got away from Tettleton.
That got the home plate umpire. It looked like he got him a good shot. It looked like he was crossed up. Tettleton looked like he was definitely crossed up on the pitch. From my standpoint, looked like he moved outside expecting the ball to break. And Frank threw a fastball inside. Is in deep pain.
Yes, he is.
Take a look. Watch Tettleton start to lean outside. Oop, and there's the ball right on the forearm, maybe the elbow.
Now, he got a pretty good lick right on the forearm. But he's ready to go. It's 1 ball to Ventura. Tim Raines, the runner at second with 2 outs. And the pitch is low, ball 2. This is the man he wants to get out. Frank Thomas, the big right-handed hitter, is next, and then Fisk. So he'd like to go right at the left-handed hitter. Bouncer towards second. Whitaker up with it, and the inning is over. At the end of 3, the Tigers lead at 6-0.